Okay, so I'm gonna the first video will be like where these values come from, and then the second video will be how we then apply them. So every 45 degree triangle that you have, I could make the hypotenuse any value, and if I did Pythagorean theorem, it's always going to pull the same ratio. A 45 degree triangle has a 1:1 to the square root of 2 ratio because two sides are the same. And then every time we do Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse is has a scale factor of 2, square root of 2 to get to it. So I've done Pythagorean theorem here. Two sides are the same. So this would be the square root of 2, and this would be the square root of 2. So if I think about my trig functions, the sine of 45, the cosine of 45, and the tangent of 45, every 45 degree angle, every angle that's a multiple of 45, will have the same trig values. So opposite over hypotenuse, or my y value over my radius, is the square root of 2 over 2. So the sine of 45 is always the square root of 2 over 2. Same thing with the cosine of 45. So the sine of 45 and the cosine of 45 have the same value. Now, in order to do tangent, we put sine over cosine, or y over x. Well, if I take this value and divide it by itself, anything divided by itself is 1. So the cotangent of 45 is just 1. So these values will never, ever change. Now, if I want to find the reciprocal functions of them, I take and I flip my sine, cosine, and tangent. Today you will rationalize to simplify these, so I'd multiply by the square root of 2. I get 2 square roots of 2 over 2, which would just equal the square root of 2. And secant of 45 would be the same thing, because sine and cosine are equal. And cotangent of 45, well, if I flip 1, it's just 1. So what happens is you have 4 45 degree angles. You have one in each quadrant. So this is a 45 degree angle. All right. This is 135 degrees because 180, this is 180 right here. 180 minus 45 is 135. 180 plus 45 is 225. And 360 minus 45 is 315. Now, we've been talking about radians, and we know that this is a fourth of 180, so pi over 4. This is 1, 2, 3 45 degree angles, or 3 pi over 4. This would be 4. This would be 5, so this would be 5 pi over 4, 5 45 degree angles, 6, 7 45 degree angles. Well, what happens is that these become coordinates because we have x, then y. When we're talking about coordinates, we have cosine and sine. So the coordinates at 45 degrees on the unit circle are the square root of 2 over 2. Those happen in every quadrant, except the only thing that changes is now cosine, we've been learning, is negative in the second quadrant. Same thing here. This will be negative, negative, because negative x, negative y, and this will be positive x, negative y. So the values will change based on the quadrant that you're in. So the values will change based on the quadrant that you're in. The same thing happens with an equilateral triangle. So that there's special right triangles because these two triangles will always pull these same values. So again, I did Pythagorean theorem. This would be the square root of 3. So the sine of, now I'm talking about 60 degrees, is the opposite over the hypotenuse, or y over r. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. In tangent, again, I put my sine value over my cosine value. These radical 2's reduce to 1. I'm left with the square root of 3 over 1, or just the square root of 3. Again, if I want to find the reciprocal values of these, I take that and I flip it. I take that and I flip it. I take this and I flip it. You flip all the values to get your reciprocal functions. Sine of 30 is a little bit different. Sine of 30, cosine of 30, and tangent of 30 do not pull the same values as these do, because what was opposite the 30 was a 1. What was adjacent is a square root of 3, and the hypotenuse was still a 2. So the sine of 30 is now 1/2. The cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2. And the tangent of 30, again, the 2's would reduce, and I would be left with 1 over the square root of 3. But I rationalize it, so the square root of 3 over 3 would be the tangent of 30. These are values that we are going to have to memorize, but you don't have to memorize all of them. Now, if I go back to the unit circle, if I just did a dilation of 2 here, or dilation of 1/2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. I would divide this by the square root of 3 over 2. I would divide this. That takes me back to the unit circle, and I can see that my y value is 1/2, my x value is radical 3 over 2, and my hypotenuse, my r value is 1. So any dilation of that unit circle will always pull these values. Well, these values happen 4 times again. So I have my 30-degree angles here and here. I also have 30-degree angles here and here. Okay, so this is a 30, and then that's pi over 6, that's 1/6, and then I have a 30-degree angle here, and again, 180 take away 30 gives me 150. 180 plus 30 gives me 210. 360 take away 30 leaves me with 330. Again, in terms of radian, this is 130, 2, 3, 4, 5 30-degree angles. So this guy's 5 pi over 6, 5 30-degree angles. This would be 6. This would give me 7 30-degree angles. This is 8, 9, 10, 11 30-degree angles. So anything that has a 6 in the denominator is referencing to a 30-degree angle because they are 30 degrees away from the x-axis. Everything I do is I'm measuring away from the x-axis there, okay? Now, we have 60s in every quadrant, so here's my 60s. My 60s, again, it's because they're 60 degrees away from the x-axis. So this is a 60, which is a third of pi over 3. This is 160. This is 2 degree angles, so this is 120, or 2 pi over 3 radians. That's 360s, that's 460s, so that's 240, or 4 pi over 3, 4 60-degree angles. 5, so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 30-degree angles, or 300 degrees, so 5 30-degree angles. And what happens is these coordinates follow along here. So, for example, again, I have x and y, and I have cosine and sine, and the cosine value at 30 is the square root of 3 over 2, and the sine value of 30 is 1/2. And if I look at my 60-degree angles, the cosine is 1/2, the sine is the square root of 3 over 2. These are going to travel all around the circle, and the only thing that's going to change is the sines. So I'm going to show you it on the next diagram here, because here's all of them. So again, I'm always finding how far it is from the x-axis. I'm going to have my 30-degree angles. I'm going to have my 30-degree angles because, again, they're 30 degrees away from the x-axis. 30 degrees away from the x-axis. So again, I have 30, or pi over 6. I have 50, or again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pi over 6. 5 30-degree angles. This is 210, 5, 6, 7 pi over 6. 8, 9, 10, 11 is 330. 11 pi over 6. Those are my 30s. Now, again, let's do 45s. My 45s are half of 90s, so they're producing fourths. So this is 45, or pi over 4. This is 1, 2, 3 pi over 4, or 135. 4, 5 pi over 4, or 225. 6, 7 pi over 4, or 315. That's 7 45-degree angles, 7 times 45. All right, and then I have my 60s. So this is 60, or pi over 3. This is 120 because it's two 60-degree angles. This is another 360. This is four 60-degree angles, or 240. 4 times 60. 5 60-degree angles, or 300. Now, what happens, again, is these coordinates go by x and y. And I count 1, 2, 3 to get my sine values. 1, 2, 3. And I go 3, 2, 1 to get my cosine values. And then these happen in every single quadrant. Okay, so what I just did was I went around and put these values, but all I did was change. I have a negative cosine and a sine, a negative cosine and a sine. Here, I have negative cosine, negative sine. So you can see in each quadrant here that these values don't ever change, but the positive or negative signs do change. Okay, so these values don't ever change. So what you have to know of this is you don't have to memorize all these. You can study this. I'm just giving it to you again so you can see where they come from. What you want to do is you want to set up a chart on your paper where you have the sine of theta and the cosine of theta, and you have 30, 45, and 60. These are the only 3 that you really need to know, or the only 6 you need to know. You always count 1, 2, 3. You count 1, 2, 3, and then for cosine, you go backwards with 3, 2, 1. Now, some people also remember tangent. It might be helpful to remember tangent. Tangent is sine over cosine. So again, that's 1 over the square root of 3, which is really the square root of 3 over 3. Tangent of 45, anything divided by itself is 1. And then radical 3 divided by 1 would give me the square root of 3. I remember the tangent of 30 because it has a lot of 3's in it. 30 has a 3 in it. A lot of 3's, a lot of 3's. 60 doesn't have, as many. So you do need to have these memorized. The other sets that you have to have memorized are the quadrantal angles. So when you are on your quadrantal angles, you're at 0 here, and that's the coordinates 1, 0. You go over 1, up 0. When you are at 90 degrees here, this is 90 degrees, you are the coordinates 0, 1, and 90 is pi over 2. When you are at 180, you went back 1, up 0. So this is 180, and this is pi. Here, you're at 0, negative 1, that's 270, and that's 3 pi over 2. So sine and cosine always stay within negative 1 and 1. Sine and cosine never go out of that. So again, cosine, sine, cosine, sine, cosine, sine, cosine, sine. These aren't in any quadrants. These are in no quadrants. These are called the quadrantal angles. So when I'm doing this, the sine is the y value, the cosine is the x value. Well, the y value at 0 and 360 is 0. The x value at 360 and 0 is 1. At 90, you have a 1 and you have a 0. At 180, you have a 0 and a negative 1. At 270, you have negative 1 and 0. So I'm just naming, when I'm at one of these quadrantal angles, I'm naming the x and y coordinate. Now the reciprocal of that, the reciprocal of 0 is undefined. Any zeros, so any reciprocal functions, you could have undefined values as your answers today. Except when you're doing addition and subtraction, you can't add to undefined. The reciprocal of 1 is 1. The reciprocal of negative 1 is negative 1. So when I'm finding any of my reciprocal values today, I'm just thinking about flipping things. Now, if I need tangent, let's say the tangent of 90, that's the y value over the x value. So at 90, the y value is 1, the x value is 0, tangent at 90 would be undefined. So if I flip that for cotangent, that would be 0, because if I literally flip 0 divided by 1, that gives me 0. So I'm focusing on sine and cosine. I'm focusing on my definition of tangent, and I'm using the values from this unit circle and from this. So on